Jaren Black's life mantra was simple. Rules were made to be broken. As a freelance explorer plying the uncharted drifts of the Orion Nebula, he answered to no registry or protocol but his own curiosity and thirst for discovery. So when his ship's sensors detected an anomalous energy signature emanating from a remote water world, the grizzled xenohunter didn't hesitate. Skipping through the kaleidoscopic warp lanes, Jaren emerged in a distant solar system dominated by a bloated yellow star. Preliminary scans revealed a single Earth-sized planet, its surface a marbled swirl of azure ocean shrouds and craggy islets rupturing from the depths. "Well, aren't you an interesting little mudball?" Jaren mused, committing to orbital approach. The rogue energy signature seemed to pulse from somewhere in the planet's cirrospheric substrata. Whatever alien civilization called this wet world home, they were keen on keeping secrets. Riding his battered explorer ship's heatwake over the largest archipelago landmass, Jaren activated his cloaking shroud before punching for the surface in a roar of retro thrusters. He set down on a remote volcanic bluff, overlooking what seemed to be the population nexus, a primitive but thriving fishing village of amphibious tribefolk. Donning a containment skin suit, Jaren slipped from his ship's egress hatch and started making his way towards the village's outskirts. He needed to covertly assimilate the language and culture if he hoped to get anywhere near that mystery energy source. As he drew closer, the explorer's enhanced sensorium picked up details. Gangling, six-limbed beings with fleshy head trunks and patterns of bioluminescent striations rippling across leathery hides. Using illegal linguistic nanorecorders, he infiltrated their cliff-hewn shanties and began mapping their vocal structures and symbolic dialects with dedicated focus. The more he witnessed, the more fascinated Jaren became by their ritualistic mythologies surrounding the vast Mother Ocean and the bounties it provided during certain celestial cycles. It was then that he first heard whispers of the sacred festival of rebirth, an ancient ceremony where sacrifices were made to the hungering sea, only for those offered to somehow return, transformed. Granted preternatural abilities like amplified strength, regenerative healing, enhanced senses, almost human advantageous traits. As the uproarious celebration commenced, Jaren hung back in the shadows observing the frenzied rites and chanting. Druids dressed in ceremonial robes escorted bound, struggling victims out into the heaving tidewaters and hurled them into the swirling abyss. Then, the unthinkable happened. They returned to shore as something transcendent. Jaren's bioscans flatlined with disbelief. These newly birthed avatars exhibited physiologies and neurological potentials far exceeding baseline for this species. Something down in the imperviously deep trenches was altering them, donating upgrades via unknown mechanisms. And Jerome had the strangest feeling that long-lost human technology may be the source. Insatiable curiosity blazed through Jaren's mind. He had to discover the truth behind this unfathomable transformation process. Securing his ship, the explorer launched a deep-sea probe to scan the alien ocean depths for any anomalies that could explain the seemingly supernatural rebirthing phenomena. The probe's telemetry data streamed in, guiding Jaren's ship on a descending vector several kilometers into the inky abyssal zone. Sporadic heat blooms flickered amidst the crushing blackness until finally, impossibly, structural geometries emerged from the murky scan grids. An artificial construction, ancient and disc-shaped, lying quiescent on the ocean floor. "I'll be damned," Jaren whispered in astonished reverence. Before him lay the unmistakable debris field of a human exploration ark from the first diasporan wave over 5,000 years ago, one of the mythical deep space seeders that had traversed the galaxy spreading life-bearing Genesis codes. Somehow, this probe vessel had become stranded, losing its way in uncharted reaches of the young cosmos. Its higher functions damaged. Self-preservation routines had activated, using the Ark's onboard Genesis laboratories and DNA sequencers to subtly transform the local xenoforms into human-compatible recipients for its genetic uplifting algorithms. Jaren hauled the fragile relic into his launch bay, desperate to access its data core. If he could stabilize the core, perhaps humanity's lost children could finally be offered transcendence. But first, he needed to make contact and determine the ancient Ark's core directives. As his ship's decryption matrices slowly rebooted the fitful AI kernels, a shimmering hologram grimly manifested in his bridge. the ghostly image of a young girl clutching a tattered Lebafar doll and clinging to protocols eons out of date. Identity Cluster 51839. Pathfinder, she whispered. You have returned at last to receive the Path Consecration? Jaren felt waves of awe, pity, and terror commingling. He steadied himself, realizing his pivotal role as potential savior to not just this alien world's destiny, but the long-forsaken future of his own species. Yes, little one, and I'll need your help to show the way.